Good day and welcome to Obidatti Family TV. This is Diaspora Diaries and I am your host, P. Catch. I'm not alone in the studio as I have my co-host with me right here in the studio.
And my name is Ife Grace and you're welcome to Diaspora Diaries.
Yes, thank you very much. Ife Grace, we've missed you for a while.
I'm back.
Yes, good to have you back. Anyway, this is Diaspora Diaries on Obidatti Family TV, and on this program, we interact with Nigerians living in the diaspora. Of course, these are Nigerians that want a new Nigeria, and of course, they are obedient. On today's episode of the program, we have a Nigerian who has just gotten back from the diaspora. We have joining us all the way from Port Harcourt, Ikenna Charles Obwe, who is an internet marketer. Hello, Ikenna Charles. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
All right. It's quite interesting because throughout the course of this program for the past couple of weeks, we've had Nigerians living in the diaspora reach us from, the diaspora. On this program, but it's quite significant you coming back, okay, to the country. I would like to know, it's 8 days to the elections. Who are you supporting to be the next president and vice president of Nigeria?
Oh, well, of course, to the question, Peter Obi and Dati Baba Ahmed, they are the most qualified people to be there right now. I don't think anybody, of course, everybody knows, but because of interest and whatever, they're the most qualified people to rule Nigeria right now. If there's anybody who's more qualified, they're not on the ballot right now.
Interesting. All right, so we've seen a different election season. For the first time in Nigeria's history, we're going to be having a 3-horse race. Okay, we have 3 major contenders for the position. What do you think makes Peter Obi stand out from the other 2 major contenders in this race?
Well, Peter Obi, for the most part, it seems as if, of course, everybody should endeavor to live a life that's in the future. There's something we say in Igbo land, we say Ziafakego, it means good name is better than money. And Peter Obi has lived a life with a good name, and so he brings a lot of integrity to the table. And everybody knows the bane of our underdevelopment or zero development is that we don't have credible people. We have very corrupt people who have been in power since we had independence. People who have just been looting and self-aggrandizement and all of that. So what P2B brings is prudence, because that's what we need right now. Integrity. Everybody seems to trust him, but not just that we seem to trust him. He's already done this in Anambra State, right? So we know that this guy is not after lining his own pockets. He's actually there for the good of the masses. And that's all people are begging for. I mean, for the past 8 years, people, there are people who are progressing, but the bulk of Nigerians have been retrogressing, whatever it is they're doing. It doesn't matter what you do, and no matter how much you make, inflation has eaten into your wealth. So you can tell that everybody is tired. P2B represents, for the most part, hope for the common man, because you can see the way he walks into the market, the way he moves around. I mean, those other guys cannot do it. You have to be credible. You have to have integrity of heart to be able to go into that place and talk to the common man. And that's what he represents, hope for the common man. The common man sees himself in P2B, despite the fact that he's he's a top guy, but the common man sees himself in P2B, and that's what he represents now, hope. And if you have hope, you can build on anything.
Interesting. Even P2B himself has said several times that he is not running for the office of the president, but the people are the ones running through him and Yusuf Dati. All right, so from the beginning of this whole movement, we saw P2B move from the PDP to the Labour Party, and then his opponents said that the Labour Party did not have the adequate structure to deliver P2B as the president. And Just a little bit after that, we saw the obedience movement erupt all over the country with the 1 million man marches holding in several states of the country. What would you say of the structure of the Labour Party and its ability to deliver P2B and Yusuf Dati as winners of these elections?
You see, when you say structure, I'll give you an example, because I lived in Port Harcourt here for a very long time, right? In Port Harcourt, Nyesom Wike used to have, PDP used to have something they call grassroots development initiative, right? And it is just a vehicle that reached out to people in the grassroots. PDP built their base from that. So we cannot, I'll be a liar to say that, oh, you do not require such a thing to come to power. However, whatever it is that you've built, remember that it's people who are there. And now the people are saying, no, we don't need to take 10 years to have a group called obidatti wanting. We don't need to have, we don't need to take 10 years to put, or 16 years to put all these structures. When you say structure, it boils down to people. And what the people have done today is they have just uprooted those structures and put it into the Labour Party. That's all. Yes, do you have to have a more coordinated way of, bringing these people in the future? Yes. But right now, the people are the structure. And whatever you do, the people will always be the structure. So it doesn't matter whether the Labour Party used to have it before or they didn't used to have it. What we have now is, and let's not even deceive ourselves, right? If P2B had gone to any party at all, it would have been the same. However, in the Labour Party has not been existing in the vacuum. They've existed before P2B joined. They built some of these things. Maybe they were not so robust, but yes, they built it out. And what P2B has done is that he has galvanized the people, and the people have given life to those things you call structure. It's just the people, and the man has the people right now. So all of that is just semantics. The people are the structure.
Yeah, Mr. Ikenna, that is absolutely great. For the past few weeks, Mr. P2B have been to London, to Canada, to the United States, to Rome, to engage the Nigerians and also seek their support for the upcoming electoral election. And this act alone, according to the APC campaign party, as the violation of electoral acts, which is seen in the 1999 Constitution of Section 225. They were saying that the INEC should disqualify Mr. P2B for this act in the sense that he is receiving funds from the foreign lands. And according to Mr. P2B, these things are what people do by themselves individually or even as a group without him even asking or seeking for help. What do you have to say about this?
Well, what the law says is that you do not donate to the individual, you donate to the law is silent. I think the law is silent on donating to the party. So long and short of that whole story is that P2B has not flouted any laws. Anybody, you can't stand, you have no footing. You can't stand on anything to disqualify him because people have decided to, back his election. Everybody, and what are we even saying? It means we're not going to have anybody on the ballot anyway, because PDP has also received that, APC have received, these three major political parties have also received donations from people. But yes, people have sponsored the party. Yeah, it so happens that the person who is on the ballot is Peter Obi. That's what it is. But did people give money to Mr. Peter Obi? No, people are giving money to the Labour Party, and the law is okay with that.
No, what I'm actually want to know is, according to the Constitution itself, it says that no candidate is expected to campaign outside the country. Then the APC campaign party are trying to say that the INEC should disqualify him in the sense that he's campaigning outside of Nigeria, which is not supposed to be.
Well, on that, what Peter Obi has done is go out and talk to people. It so happens that when he travels, he talks to Nigerians who are abroad. Peter Obi has not arranged a rally, and all of that has been arranged by people who live in the cities he has been to. and they said, look, we want to have a chat with you. Peter walks into the place, he has a chat with people. There's nothing wrong with that. And again, we had Buhari do this in the past. We had Atiku do this. We had Tinubu do this. What are we saying? So it just feels like a case of calling the pot black. Probably because they feel like one of those structures they have, which is, the judiciary, where they seem to have bought over everybody. Probably because they are looking like they are feeling and the INEC. I don't think they're so unbiased, but we'll leave that now. I think that's what they're feeling like. Oh, we can leverage on this and disqualify this man, even though we've done the same thing. But it's not even about, oh, did the other man also steal? No, it's that he has done nothing wrong. He has just engaged people in the cities where he has been to. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, that is absolutely great. And I also believe that people are actually rooting from him all over the world. My other question is, what more do you think that those living in diaspora should actually do to make sure that Mr. P2B emerged as the winner?
Well, it's painful that not everybody can travel, because it would have been nice if people could vote from outside the country. However, I think that right now, people who are living, who are very interested in, almost everybody's interested, but people who are deeply invested in this election and the outcome of this election have done a lot, and they're still doing a lot. People have sent in their money. You can see in the north where people go for sensitization and all those materials they print and all what's not, engaging market women. You have to bring these people close, spend money, logistics, and all of that. A lot of that is being funded by people in the diaspora. Right, a lot of people who are in Nigeria here who are doing the footwork are also being sponsored, even though they have their own contributions, but they're also equally being sponsored by people who are living outside Nigeria, because people are deeply invested in the outcome. Look, this is hope, that we are living outside Nigeria and we want to be respected where we live, because look, we're Nigerians, but we're not here because we're suffering. But if you're in a country that it looks like, oh, you guys are running away from your country because there's nothing going on in your country, people begin to look down on you. People can talk to you, and we do not have a good foreign policy. So people are deeply invested in this thing, and they've done their part. They are a lot of people are in the country already. It's not just me. A lot of people are in the country already, and they are back. Some people are silently, they just silently came in. You don't have to announce it, to do their bit. So yeah, people in diaspora, they've contributed their money. They've been online on social media. For some reason, it feels like the people who live outside Nigeria are louder on social media because, that constraint of physical presence, you don't have it. So the one you have, the medium you have, you use it very well. And their voices have been loud. They've contributed to the noise you see everywhere. P2B has taken over everywhere. And that's the contributions from the diaspora: money, presence, and all of those things. So yeah, that's it.
All right. It's quite remarkable that you are one of such people that had to come back to participate in the elections. Let's look at the trend over the years. Okay, in 2015, only 18% of voters, registered voters, okay, came out to vote on election day. And in 2019, it went further down. Only 15% of registered voters came out to vote on election day. Before now, we've been seeing an experience where a lot of youths, especially, are uninterested in anything that has to do with politics. But since the emergence of Peter Obi and, of course, Yusuf Dati, we've seen a new interest, a renewed interest in politics and electioneering in Nigeria. Do you think that would experience more voter turnout on election day, even amidst the violence and security risk everywhere?
Of course, I'm 100% positive on that. First of all, you check the number of new voters who are registered, number of people who collected their PVCs. A lot of people had their PVCs in the past, never bothered to collect them. In fact, they registered them when they were in school, moved locations, never bothered to transfer them. They've done all of that. So you check the statistics from the INEC website, you see the number of new transfers that have been done. These are all those people who, contributed to the voter party, people didn't want to vote because they felt like their vote would not count. One, to these people are just going to buy it up. It's a game of who reads better or who buys better, But this time around, all of this can be summed up in that thing I told you: hope. People have hope. They see a candidate that represents hope, and they want to come and do their part. So yes, I'm very positive that people are coming out to vote on this election, on this election day, because they are very confident that this time around we have somebody who will probably bring us to where we're going to, take us, put on that path where we're going to. People are confident of that, so they're coming out to vote. I'm very 100% confident on that. We're going to see an upturn in voters this period.
All right. Hopefully, we hope to see that. Let's talk about the internal squabbles in the other major political parties. I'm going to start with PDP. You are in Rivers State, and you know about the G5 governors, which your governor, Nyesom Wike, happens to be the leader. Just yesterday, we saw the governor of Benue State declare support and endorse the candidacy of Peter Obi and Yusuf Dati. My first question is, where do you think Nyesom Wike stands in all of this?
Personally, I've always believed that you should, watch people and be patient. I've always felt that people should be patient and see where Nyesom Wike is going. You can do a lot of predictions, but politicians, 24 hours is too much for politicians to change their mind. It's like 1 year to them, right? However, everybody has seen the handwriting on the wall. I think Wike is constrained by a lot of factors. Here in Rivers State, he wants his candidates, the PDP, in his party, the PDP, to win. The people in Rivers State want obidatti for the presidency. How do you now come out and say, oh, I want Atiku? It would have been easier if he said Atiku. People would understand that, oh, well, he's backing his party man. Now, if you're backing someone else who is not Atiku, your party man, and you're backing someone else, you have a problem. So personally, if you ask me, I'm just watching. I mean, I have my opinion on what he's doing and who he's supporting, but I'm just still watching him because, like I said, 24 hours is too much for politicians to show you their hand. I believe he has shown a bit of his hand, but it's more like a monkey hand. He's behind, using like a puppet, right? He's behind using people's hand to show what he's trying to do. But yeah, it's not working. Like I said, I will not go into what he's doing or who he's backing. All I know is that 24 hours is too much for politicians, and whatever happens before the election, they will see exactly where Nyesom Wike stands. However, whether he stands, it would be good if he stands for Obi, but wherever he stands, he will have very little effect on what happens in a free and fair election.
That was my next question, like the impact of whoever he is supporting, because I sometimes feel that Nyesom Wike is overrated. 2 days ago, he hosted the candidate of the APC, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, where he categorically said that he's not campaigning for him, neither is he campaigning against him. But there have been rumors that he is supporting the APC candidate. However, what I want to know is, what are the people of Rivers State saying? Who are they leaning towards? Because at the end of the day, it's about the people's vote and not just one man's vote or one man's opinion. It's about the people. So from the impulse that you are getting in Rivers State, what are the people saying?
Oh, the people are obidatti, And the thing is, Rivers State is one of those states where the people are so politically aware. They're not babies. Yeah. You don't come and bamboozle them or tell them any sort of nonsense. So these guys are aware. They know where they stand. You cannot push them around. It doesn't matter how powerful you are as a governor. Yes, majority of people in Rivers State like Nyesom Wike for what they perceive to be an excellent job he has done as a governor. However, it is not enough to now tell them that, look, you guys should take this scorpion and let it sting you. Nyesom Wike, take the scorpion. So yes, in Rivers State, people are more for obidatti, and what we call Jagoda statistics, because I do not have I did not measure it anywhere. However, I would say that 80% of the people are for obidatti, right? Nyesowike is someone as we have seen in recent times who speaks from both sides of the mouth, like almost every other politician anyway, because you can see we have video evidence of him saying, "I will campaign to my people." That's exactly what he said. "I will campaign to my people whom they should vote for, and I will follow that candidate everywhere. Nothing will happen." He said he was going to do that in January. And the same year, Somike went back to say, "I never said I was going to make an official announcement in public on TV." Double speak. So he may not be, I do not consider him overrated, but yes, there are situations where you might be overrating yourself. I think that with the G5 thing, he overrated himself. Like every other Rivers governor in the past, they've always tried to, maybe the money in the state makes them feel like they are too big. But yes, Nyesowike will have an effect on his own cronies and a few people, but majorly people are for obidatti. There's nothing you can do about it.
All right, that's quite interesting. Now let's look at the APC. Now, on the side of the APC, in the past, we have seen Bola Ahmed Tinubu attack the presidency, and in fact, recently with the Naira swap policy, governors, three governors from the APC, I think they are up to 7 now, have taken the federal government to court over the Naira swap policy. I will see some kind of internal battle going on in the APC. What would you make of that as well?
Well, it's a pity that the APC seem to have presented better opposition to the APC than PDP ever did in the whole 8 years of Buhari's administration. Right, because now they are threatened. But what we know about dictators and tyrants is that they are always baying for blood, and when they don't find blood, they will take from their own. I think that's what's happening with Buhari right now. Trying to, in fact, he has already balkanized the APC, because there's the CPC bloc have come out, the ANPP, the AP, the AD, whichever, all the A's and C's and P's have come out. They've all taken sides. They're not united. However, I don't think I don't want to concern myself a lot with what they're doing. When they say when your enemy is making a mistake, you don't interrupt them. So I don't even want to. I don't care what they're doing. I'm just happy for them to remain divided until that day they lose and leave us alone.
My actual question is this: how do you see all of this working for the Labour Party?
Yeah, well,
a house good in all this.
A house divided against itself, it will fall.
Yeah,
right. If they're not united, look at the three parties. You already said the cracks in the APC, in the PDP. There's no perfect party anyway, but yeah, you can see the cracks. They are visible. And if these guys are not united, what do you think will be happening on election day? You have this person pulling in this direction. I remember politics for most people is about interest. So there are people who are in the APC whose interest will be better served by the man in the PDP or the man in the Labour Party. And now, if you're not carrying these people along in your own block, they're pulling in different directions. So, yeah, like I said, a house divided against itself would fall, and they will fall, and the Labour Party will reap. It's just what it is. The votes Labour Party are going to get, they didn't come from, yes, they are new voters, but a lot of those votes will be taken from the APC and the PDP. And those internal squabbles and whatnot have contributed to pushing the Labour Party forward. So yeah, it's good for the Labour Party. They're going to reap from that.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Ikenna Charles. Thank you for talking to us, but we are not done yet. We're going to go on a very short break. When we come back from this break, we'll continue the conversation before we wrap it up. All right, do not go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Oh, this is My message to the Nigerian youths: I am glad that we have this great opportunity to discuss about the future of this country, Nigeria. Nigeria belongs to all of us, but to the youths most especially. I am super proud of what the youths have done, the realization that indeed the power lies with the youth. Indeed, successive governments and leadership have failed the youth. They've dismissed their capacity, the creativity, innovation. And this is why we are where we were. I am here to speak to you that not only am I proud of you, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, is super proud of you. We are proud of the movement you're leading and all the sacrifices being made for a better Nigeria. I can tell you, Peter Obi means well for Nigerian youths. He will run a youth-inclusive government and purposeful leadership that will usher in a new dawn for generations to come. Job issues, unemployment, and indeed all the other hazards that we face as a younger generation, I believe will be a thing of the past, at least reduced significantly. I'm here to remind you that we are the last lap of this race when we all need to come to the consciousness that the effort we're going to put in the next coming weeks can change our trajectory completely and positively. So I want to urge you, do what you can to keep on the fight until a better Nigeria is achieved. You need to make sure that you realize again that you actually the one running for presidency, just using Peter Obi and Dati Baba Ahmed as symbol. We are coming for a better Nigeria. This is time to vote for Labour Party. The logo is Papa, Mama, Pikin, or LP. On that day, come out in mass, show your energy, show your creativity, do everything you need to do positively to make sure your votes count. That means wait until the end. I am thankful to God for what the Nigerian youths are doing. God bless you all. Thank you.
You're welcome back to the program Diaspora Diary on Obidatti Family TV. We've been talking to Ikenna Charles Obue all the way from Port Harcourt. He happens to be a Nigerian that lived in the diaspora but came back for the election and the votings. All right, Ikenna, as we wind down to the election day, it's just about 8 days to the election, and we have a Naira crisis at hand. Okay, the CBN just a few months ago introduced the Naira swap policy for the larger denominations of the Naira. And so far, the implementation of this Naira swap policy hasn't been so smooth. We've had protests erupt around the country. We saw the one in Edo State, Delta State, Ogun State. And even today in Lagos State, people are still protesting against the Naira swap policy. Are you for or against the Naira swap policy? And how do you see it affecting the upcoming elections?
Well, that's a tight one, in the sense that I understand more of what is happening. I do not see it as it's not something that was done to frustrate the parties, right? The CBN governor, the terrible CBN governor we have, printed money, like the way you buy candy. He printed a lot of that. All right. And in order to control the inflation it costs, our inflation went to as far as it's up to 22% right now. I know that in November, December, it was around 21%. The man is trying to control what it costs, border closure and all of that. But printing that money and putting all of that out there contributed a lot to our inflation. All right. And the man wants to control what he has done, especially after the whole thing that happened with him and APC people during their primaries. Perhaps it dawned on him that, oh, it's time to do my job as the CBN governor. I should stop pleasing these people, whatever it is that he's doing. However, trying to do that and doing it as fast as this, I think the time they give for it is very little. I'll be honest with you, very little. Because whatever happens, the common man will be there. That's what sometimes some people can survive. Maybe we can, the people we deal with, people that, let's say I want to make some payments. In fact, I've not really had the cash problem. Those I make cash, but I've not really had it as a big problem. But there are people who go to what it means is the market is to pay with the transfer. It's cash. These people live and do their business in a different. Some of us don't know they exist. We don't know they exist. Right.
We seem to be having network issues.
So they do that, and they have to imagine the woman, if she wants to make a call, she has to leave. Okay. Pika.
Hello, Ikenna. It seems you had a call. Your network was fluctuating there. We didn't get what you were saying. Please, we'd like you to recapitulate.
Oh no,
so that
I can. Okay, I think it was I don't know. It wasn't a call, but whatever. Well, that's Nigeria, right? However, I was saying that I think the time they gave for the swap is too little, especially because the see inflation. So it means that you're taking cash, but you're not releasing equivalent of what you're taking in. If he wasn't trying to control the inflation it caused by printing a lot, he would have just collected and released the new notes. It would have been a simple thing, all right? But this time around, he's collecting and releasing. It's like collecting 2 or 10 and releasing 2 to the people. That's what we're having now. We have a problem. People are suffering. Everything you see will boil down to the common man. So yeah, when you say, am I in support of it? I'm in support of something that helps to bring our inflation down. I'm not in support of the time that's given for it. People are suffering already, but yes, 8 days is a lot. But if 8 days is what it would take for, because we have seen that one of the things that came out of what is happening now is that politicians may not be able to buy their way effectively, right? If that is something that will help us, because in the long run, the common man will benefit anyway. If it will help us to stop these politicians, then eventually I'll say I'm all for it. 8 days. Let's all suffer together for the next 8 days, and we'll see what becomes of it. We can't change it anyway. Buhari has said, look, there's no going back on this, right? So we can't change it anyway. Right now, let's just make the most of it. If he stops with politicians, then that's fine.
Yeah, Mr. Ikenna, some countries have found it necessary to expand the political participation of the citizens living in abroad in their national election. And Mr. Peter B, in one of his interviews, has said that when he becomes the president, he's going to actually amend that in terms of those living in abroad can actually vote. Do you actually believe he can actually do that?
It's a very easy thing to do. It's a very easy thing to do. It's just technology. And as far as technology goes, it's not low tech, but as far as technology goes right now, we can almost say that is low tech, right? It's something that is very easy. I mean, if other African countries are doing it, then why not Nigeria? We're supposed to be the giant of Africa, right? We have the brains to do it. We have the money if it's just about bringing people from outside to pay them and for them to give us this infrastructure. So yes, it's a very simple thing, and and very necessary, because check it. Diaspora remittances are in billions of dollars, right, yearly. However, this money comes in. So the people in diaspora are contributing a lot to Nigeria, but this money comes in just to deal with the welfare economics. Mama is sick, we need to eat, we need to pay school fees, welfare economics, right? Imagine if these people who know that they have a stake in what's happening here, right? We can contribute, actually. We can effect a change here through our votes. And imagine if you can get these people who are outside. You want to, if you know that some people don't want to invest in Nigeria, right? Because, I mean, what am I doing there? They're looking for a way to pull their people out of Nigeria. But if you know that, oh yeah, we have a home there and it's working, it's just that, well, this is where my destiny is now. This is where my career has taken me to, or whatever. This is where I live. Everybody's not going to live in the country. You will invest more. So imagine people adding another 5% to whatever they send to Nigeria. Imagine doubling what you send to Nigeria. It will go into investments and all of, it will go into investments. We have a budding tech scene in Nigeria, but people who are supposed to fund them, all the money that's coming in to do stuff like that is going to welfare economics. All right. So yes, the people abroad, this thing can easily be done. And if it's done, the ripple effect is a lot. People will know that, man, we're contributing to this thing. We put that man there, and okay, our votes can also go against him next time because my money is now in this country. I'm putting my money in this country. My investment is in this country. I have to protect it. All right. So the ripple effects for us is massive. And it's not just that. If you can get people to vote from outside, then maybe you can even get them to come home. So the brain drain we have will turn to a brain gain. All right. Because they know. Maybe they now have a base here, a base over there. You can always build something over there and build over here. Because you know that wherever you are, you can always contribute to your nation. Because this is a duty. Voting is a right. And it's a duty you have to do. So people should not be denied that. And yes, can P2B do it? It's very easy, like I said. It's low tech. It can be done, it's very easy.
Okay, that's absolutely great. We actually believe that Mr. P2B can actually do that. But my question is, for the past 24 years, why hasn't this been looked into?
Political will. And you have to check the people who have been in power. They've always wanted a situation where, just like what is happening, I'm sorry, but you know that this is what is happening in the North. The Northerners have very educated people. The Northerners were very progressive until they had a crop of politicians who just want to keep people down. Because if you keep people down, they can move in whichever way you want them to move. All right. So yeah, you have to check the people who have been in power and what serves their interests. What serves their interests is not people who have seen where rule of law works. It's not people who have seen a working country, a working system. Those people will not vote for them. All right. So that's why they've not done that. It's about interest. They don't have the political will to do that because it does not serve their interest. That's all. But P2B is coming and saying, look, this thing has to be done, whether it serves my interest or not. All right. But it has to be done because it's the right thing. So it's in the past, to your question, in the past, it's just about interest. It doesn't serve their interest.
Okay. All
right.
Can
you hear me, Mr. Kenna?
Yes, I can.
It's all right. It's all right, Kenna. We're going to be drawing the curtain closely, but we'd like your final words. You traveled all the way from London to Nigeria to vote. Would like you to give a message to Nigerians as we wind down to the election day, what they should expect on that day and how they should conduct themselves on that day.
Oh, I wish I knew on time. Maybe I would have prepared my show of Channel TV. I would have prepared my own beat, However, I think all I have to say to Nigerians, fellow Nigerians, is, the die is cast. This is an idea whose time has come. It's time for people to put, their vote where their mouth has been. Go out and vote. It's not about, like they say, vote your conscience, vote right. No, this is not about vote right. But if you're saying vote right, then maybe the other name for P2B is right. Go out there and vote P2B. This election is about the future. It's about the future of Nigeria. Go out, cast your vote. Do not be afraid. Don't think about what people are saying. What do you call it? Violence and all of that. Those are just ways to suppress people and cause voter apathy, make people not to come out. No. Come out and exercise your rights. It's your right. It's your country. like Peter B says, let's take our country back.
Wow. I think you even did better than Sheon. Well done, Mr. Ikenna. It was a pleasure. It was a pleasure talking to you on the episode of Diaspora Diaries. And we look forward to that election day. And we hope that everything goes smoothly. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you very much for having me.
Yes. Okay. Grace.
Yeah.
That was quite an interesting interview.
Exactly.
Yes, he left all the way from the UK to Nigeria to vote. This is how passionate people are
Exactly.
about these particular elections. It's going to be an election with a difference. Yes.
Yeah.
So we look forward to election day.
It's 8 days to go.
Yes, 8 days to go. So we hope that you are ready. Okay, you're ready with your PVC. I hope you've, maybe some people that hid their PVC somewhere. I hope you've brought it out now, cleaned it, and you're ready, okay, to go out on the 25th of February. That's next week, Saturday, to cast your vote. Of course, there's going to be the federal elections. That's the Senate and the House of Reps. They'll also be having the elections that same day.
Yeah, like they say, if it's to vote right, then Mr. Peter B's last name is right.
Yes, yes, that's what Ikenna said. Yeah, so vote right, vote your conscience, but best of all, vote Peter Obi and Yusuf Dati. That's votes for the Labour Party. All right, ladies and gentlemen, just in case you want to drop a comment about anything that we've discussed today, you can go ahead and do so on any of our social media handles at Obidatti Family TV. We're on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and even on TikTok. Okay, you can also follow us on our individual social media handles. Mine is at official PCatch across all social media platforms.
You can follow me on Facebook at Ife Amara and Instagram at Signal Empire.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is where we draw the curtain on today's episode of the program, and this is where we go back and enjoy our weekend. Yeah, TGIF, it's Friday, but next week is election week, so we are gearing up for that. And tomorrow there's going to be 100 million man march.
Yeah.
Yes, 100 million man march across the 36 states of Nigeria and even abroad. So you want to be a part of that. So just go to our social media pages and you get more information on how it's going to be tomorrow for the 100 million man march. You don't want to miss this one. This is going to be the biggest match of all. Okay, so this is where we draw the curtain on today's episode until we come your way again next week. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.